on?
Hey, hey. And we are live on a Wednesday. Once again, Halenville live November the 17th.
It's good to
John
see
and
you guys.
Charles.
Good to see you this evening, man.
Hey, fellas. Hey, everybody.
Hey,
Hi.
quick shout out to Sandra. She's not feeling good. She's under the weather. We miss her. She's only been gone for less than 30 seconds, and we miss her badly. We hope you get well, Sandra. Feel better, girl.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
do feel
definitely.
better. Analog Kid will be out there in the chat hanging out with you guys and gals. We got a cool show lined up tonight. A lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Um, let's say hello to some people. Keith Campbell, nice to see you,
What's going
sir.
on,
Dan
Keith?
in New Jersey.
Dan,
Ed
what's up, bro?
Drubel. Ed,
Ed.
let's
Ed, what's up,
see.
bro?
Thomas Santiago. Keith
Thomas,
H.
Mammoth.
brother Thomas, man.
Music Therapy Laz.
Laz.
How you doing, Les?
You're in the chat. Say hi. Christopher Live Sour.
Yeah,
Christopher.
Christopher.
The man.
He just scored himself tickets for Last in Line. I forget the exact date, but that's the remaining Dio members, Vinny Appice and Vivian Campbell, and he's going to go see him. And I told him, I said,
Nice.
man, now Tony, they come around, we are there.
Yeah.
We are there.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry to stop you, man. I just wanted to shout out Christopher. You rock, my man.
Hey, Dan of New Jersey.
Dan, brother,
Welcome, Brett.
Brett, what's up, bro?
Hey, Brett.
Yeah. So, um, we got a couple of guests waiting in the green room, so we're going to hurry along. Big news that I'm hearing this morning from the Howard Stern show. John. Yeah.
Yeah. So today it was pretty big. EVHCon was last Sunday, the 7th, I think it was. And one of the guys that works on the Howard Stern show, Steve Nowicki, is a huge Ed head, and he's a builder, and he's built a great 5150 that he had there. He was at EVHCon, and he's also got a real accurate 1984, maybe one of the most accurate I've ever seen. The body he had there at the show, so he was loving it. This is his first year he got to make it to the show, but today Howard did a segment on it on the EVH Con and Steve Nowicki, and he had Steve on talking about it, and it was pretty cool.
Cool.
If you get a chance,
Yeah.
you can go on. Howard's. It might be on YouTube. I forget where it is.
It's everywhere. Howard
Yeah.
came right out and said, so Steve went to Eddie Van Halen con.
He mentioned it was in Connecticut,
and she says, there's a Eddie Van Halen con. And he went on for a couple of minutes about it.
Yeah, I mean, he even had, Howard Stern Live, Nowicki at Eddie Van Halen convention, Eddie Van Halen con. So it was pretty cool. So if everybody has a chance out there, check it out. It was pretty cool. Even in the video, you'll see Steve's there, and there's a picture from EVH Con. And but yeah, they were pretty cool about it. They definitely were. It was exciting. Nobody expected it, so I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Howard usually can be cruel to the people that work there, but he was cool. It's Nowicki. He sounded like he appreciated it. He didn't hate it, the idea of it. Probably thought everybody there is nuts, but hey, that's all right. It's all good.
He showed some respect to Eddie.
He talked about it though.
Yeah, he
talked
did.
about the event.
Yeah, and he talked about a lot. He talked about the drill, that Scott Smith brought, that Eddie used on the balance tour that was there, and And Steve was great. You could tell he had a really good time. He loved being at EVH Con. He was really, you could see his excitement talking about it. Just to Howard, he was talking about it was great. So if you get a chance, I mean, it's out there. It's you can get a replay on Sirius, or you can. I think I get the video from YouTube or Howard's. I might have been Howard's website. They have video clips from the show, and one of the video clips was him talking to Steve about that, and I guess Steve got engaged last weekend too. And
Very cool.
And he mentioned that he was, I guess he told the girlfriend he wanted her to come to EVH Con because he had a question to ask her. And she's like, no, you're not doing this there at EVH. No, you're not. It's not a good idea. I don't
Wow. Wow.
He said,
He's a true fan.
I wouldn't have done it, but he goes, I was kind of saying that to her. So that's in one of the clips.
Great.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So, a couple million people or more heard about EVH Con today, which is kind of cool. So
no secret anymore.
Cool.
Yeah, it's no secret anymore. That's it. That's awesome. Which leads us to our next bit. Tony, go ahead.
Yeah. So these our special guests tonight. They both play guitar in John's area in premier Van Halen tribute bands, and you guys are gonna know these guys. John?
Yeah, so they're really not. I'm in New York. Jimmy's band is Jimmy Vomvas, who is also, we're gonna have him in here. He is the other godfather of the EVH Con with Joe Suma. He's the other half of it. The two of them that began this, so we can talk to Jimmy about that too. And so his band is called Halen CT, and they play in the Connecticut area. And then Joe Girard, his band's called Everybody Wants Some, and I believe Joe's in Massachusetts, so it's in the Northeast. These guys are New England kind of. And, so I'm in New York. So I've never seen either of these bands live myself because it's kind of a hike. It'd be like hour and a half to get to Jimmy, where he is in Connecticut probably. And
they are both on YouTube, and
yes,
both of their links are down in the description. And they both rock.
Yeah, great bands.
Let's bring them in.
Yeah.
Jim Vomvas.
Hey, what's up,
Joe
guys?
Girard. There they are.
Can you hear me okay?
Go, bro.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Long live EVH.
Absolutely.
That's it. So before we get into the bands, I don't know if you guys heard us. We were just talking about the Howard Stern mentioning EVH Con today. So pretty cool, right, guys?
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Super cool. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Now,
you said there's a video too.
Yeah, a few million more people have heard about EVH Con today as a result. You know what I mean? And I was saying that Jimmy, you and Joe are really the godfathers of the EVH Con. It was you guys' idea.
I was talking to Joe once, like many years ago. I heard that. I watched the video when Joe was on here, and he kind of told the story about me buying that guitar from him, and we started talking, and I told him about how me and two of my friends, these guys are guitar players too, and I'd go up there once a month, and we would all three of us would play guitar, trade licks, and we talk about music, go get something to eat, come back, play more guitar. And Joe was like, you know what, man, that would be great, if we, and all these two other guys are huge Van Halen heads, so he's like, you know what, that'd be a good idea to kind of have something like that, but expand it to other people. And I'm like, yeah, man, and then Joe was generous enough to, for the past 6 times hosted at his place down there in Riverside, Greenwich Music, and every year it's gotten better. And I've met all these great people that I consider my friends through that. And that's the thing that people don't really talk about. When Eddie died, it's like we all know how great he was, and influenced us, and it changed my life. But the other side is that he's also through him, indirectly, I've met all these great people. John Conklin included. So all these, it's just that side of things isn't really talked about. How there's a community there of Eddie Van
Definitely.
Halen fans, whether you play guitar or you don't, or you love the replicas. There's all these great people that if Ed didn't exist, I probably wouldn't have met. I would have a completely different life if Ed didn't exist.
I always just say
Me
it's
too.
sad that
Me
we didn't
too.
meet like 25 years earlier, because we would all be, going to shows together and stuff. I did know Jimmy, who he was 25 years ago I always say the VHML. I remember Jim Vomvas, the name from on it used to be always on there, but now, with the way technology's changed and everything like that, now it's like you actually meet the people and stuff like that. It's much better,
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's, believe it or not, even though it would have been great to have met all you guys like 30 years ago, it's kind of cool that we're doing it now, because now that he's gone, at least we can, keep him alive by doing stuff like EVH Con and things like that,
Definitely.
And,
it's even more important now than ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. So let's start talking about your bands here, guys.
Yeah, you both.
Yeah. So Joe, is this
Yes,
your
sir.
first Van Halen cover band?
Can you say that again?
Is this your first Van Halen cover band, or did you?
Yes.
This one is the first one.
I had bands that played Van Halen, but I never really dedicated myself to learning the right way to play Van Halen.
And when did you put the band together?
5 years ago, almost 6 years ago.
5 years. And
was it really hard for you to find just the right musicians? Have you gone through a few guys, or was it like you and your buds had this thing and you guys decided to commit to it?
I had an idea for a drummer, because me and him, actually, we tried to make a Van Halen tribute band, and it kind of like fell through. We were playing like Van Halen and then STP, you know what I mean? It wasn't fully
I got you.
But he was my best. My drummer was the best one I could think of. And I based everything around him. I asked other people, like for a singer and a bass player. A lot of people said no. And then eventually I asked the singer that was in my band at the time if he wanted to just try it out. And he was the original singer, but eventually we got somebody else, because
it's got to be a real battle to find a singer who can cover Sammy and Roth tunes, and you kind of have to and I'm actually asking this as a question to both you guys. You kind of have to sacrifice one for the other, don't you? As far as one who does Roth a little better, because
you can't get two.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are primarily Roth era Van Halen bands.
Yeah.
But you could do some Hagar songs.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
Joe, your singer was at EVH Con this year, and
he can do anything.
He's a phenomenal singer. That guy could.
That's cool.
I don't know if you guys heard clips of him, but let me ask you a question.
Let me show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's Joe's band right there. And Joe, so your singer's name is Bob, right? Was
Bob? Yep, Bob Whitlock.
Bob Whitlock, and he also did, like, last November. Didn't they do like they did a live tribute? I remember to Eddie at a studio from Long Island. It was Pete.
Pete. Pete.
Studio,
yes.
And Pete Caruccio was there.
It was exactly one year ago today.
Oh, 1 year ago today, yeah. And so your singer was there. Were you there? You were there, right? Were you there? I'm trying.
I
to
was
remember.
there. Yes.
You were there, and I know Pete
Billy was there.
Who was there?
Billy.
Oh, Billy. Yeah, we wanted to have Billy on tonight. Billy. Now his band, Billy Kelly, is what are they called?
Van Hagar.
Van Hagar, and they play the Hagar era. They focus on all that. That's all they play. So, but Billy he had working late this week, so he wasn't going to be able to make it. But if we ever do this again with other bands, which we may in the future, we'll definitely have him on then.
He's awesome.
But if people want to see that tribute, I'm sure it's up on YouTube somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember what it was called, or I don't remember the exact name.
Oh, the tribute that was 1 year ago. You mean?
Yes.
It was the Eddie Van Halen, the group page. Shit, I forgot what the hell it was called. I don't know.
Yeah, if I can find that out, we'll let people know, because it's worth
Both
watching.
of these guys' bands' links are down below in the description. They're both on YouTube also.
Yeah, as the show goes on, I'll try to find out. I'll try to find it, but because it's worthwhile to check it out, because you'll hear how great the singers are. It was done in a real recording studio. They got out and they played like a bunch of tribute songs to Van Halen, and it was really well done. So so okay. Anyway, so Jimmy, so when did you start Halen CT?
We've been doing it for about 8 years. And in the beginning, I used to be in this band called Megahertz, a pretty well-known band here in Connecticut. And back then, we do all the 80s metal, Maiden, Motley Crue, Dio, you name it, Whitesnake. And the band was pretty popular. I mean, we opened up for like Blue Oyster Cult and stuff like that. And so I was in that band for a while, and then it kind of just like ended up dying. And 2 friends of mine were like, dude, man, we should maybe do a Van Halen tribute. And because we used to do some Van Halen in that band, but not a lot. And I kind of like I heard them, but I was more interested at that time on maybe keeping my band going because I had gigs. And then it just ended up, I tried, my singer left. I tried finding a new singer. That was hard. And so I kind of just put that band to rest. And then like a year after they actually, came up with this idea, I was like, you know what, let's give it a try. But, it's one thing saying, let's do a Van Halen tribute. It's a completely different thing actually trying to do it. And that was the thing. Like, we weren't sure if A, we could even play this stuff, and B, if we could play it well enough for anybody to care, So back then it was 3 other completely different dudes. All those guys ended up leaving. But, we started rehearsing, and then we kind of realized that, there was like some benchmarks there where I was like, okay, if we can play this song, then maybe we can actually do this. And one of those songs was Hot for Teacher. Like, if you can get through Hot for Teacher, because that's not only guitar, that's a lot of drums too,
Nice.
Not even that, it's just the timing of it.
Timing is so crazy in that song.
Trying to hear it, that volume, and try to
And if you skip that one little beat, you're done.
Yeah. So it's a tour de force.
It's a totally different song.
We kind of got through Hot for Teacher, and I was driving home that night. I'm like, you know what? We can maybe do this. And then we had some shows, and those guys were with me for about 4 years, and then my singer left, and I got a new singer. And like the core guys that I have now, the other 3 guys that I have now, it's the best lineup. And everybody gets along, everybody understands the premise. Because I had a problem with my previous singer where we were at rehearsal once, and I mean, we were doing this Van Halen thing for like 2 years now, right? And he kind of wanted to do like Ozzy and other stuff, and I'm like, you know, we've been doing this Van Halen thing for 2 years now, right? Anyway, that kind of caused that actually came to a fist fight almost. Like he wanted to fight me because he didn't want to. I don't know. He didn't want to listen to me. Anyway, so I've got 4 guys now. We're all on the same page. We're playing better, bigger places. We played this place in Connecticut called Crystal Bees, and it was sold out, thank God. And that was I think that was last week, and we did 1984 in the second set. We did 1984 start to finish. So we do stuff like that. We do 84. We do Van Halen 1. But the rest of the stuff is everything from all the other albums. And like John said, we do some Sammy Hagar. Try to put in like 3 or 4 Hagar tunes in there for people.
Nice.
When we first started doing it, it was only Dave, and then you can't just at some point you can't just keep on doing the same songs. So that's when I was, and don't get me wrong, I do love the Hagar eras. I mean, there's some great stuff on there.
There's a ton of material for a band to play.
There. Every album is fantastic. But so we put in some Hagar stuff, and
what kind of a practice regimen does your band have now? Is it once a week? Is it?
Let me show this too.
Yeah, here we go. You know what, Charles? We when we first started, we would practice like once, I don't know, once a month or something, right?
Really?
But now we've got this we've got like a list of, maybe like every night we play like 40 plus Van Halen songs. We do like 3 hours,
Wow, that is impressive.
Yeah, we
That is
play like
impressive.
40 plus songs a night. And
That is impressive.
yeah. And but we've got a list of like 70 songs. So honestly, I was talking to these guys about this the other day, my guys, my band. We only rehearse, we probably rehearse 4 times a year. And that's to just learn new stuff.
Wow.
Once you learn it, then you're responsible for knowing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But once, and like, like for example, like we had to do Girl Gone Bad last week, which is in my opinion, maybe the hardest Van Halen song to play.
That was going to be one of my questions. Joe, what do you think the toughest one to play is? I would think I'm the One or something. What do you think? I'm the One, Hot for Teacher, or Girl Gone Bad? It's probably 3 of the toughest.
Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah.
To get everybody synced in for that.
Yeah.
Definitely Girl Gone Bad.
So we hadn't done that in maybe like 2 years. So we met and rehearsed that and kind of got the cues right and stuff like that. And then you kind of rehearse it on your own and you should be ready to go. So yeah, we don't in the beginning we used to practice a lot more, maybe like 12 times a year. But now honestly it's like 3 or 4 times a year. Like I'm probably going to see those guys in January. We've got a list of like 3 new songs to learn by like January, and I'll see them in January. And like the good thing is everybody does their homework, like they understand.
I was gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I mean, if your drummer decided to slack off on 1 or 2 songs and it didn't play them too much, you guys showed up all of a sudden, you all got to be spot on, man. You got
to drummer's not
right there.
My drummer, my drummer, Kenny Seidenberg.
No sliding your drummer, bro. I didn't mean to single him out. I'm just an example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys. Just do you change? Do you keep the same set list? Do you change the set list? Can you go in and just pop off a typical upcoming boom, 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 boom?
Yeah, for me, we change the set list. Every night. There's a certain structure. Like we always open up with Running with the Devil, and that's the only reason is because sometimes you've got a sound guy, sometimes you don't, and like I use Running with the Devil as kind of like a sound check, because I don't want to go up there and open up with Hot for Teacher and like the sound's terrible, and then I just wasted that song. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so there's a certain structure to the set, but there's places where we'll add new stuff or we'll. Like we haven't played Jamie's Crying in about a year. So I have a show next week. We're going to put that back in the set. And so, there's always new songs that are added. There's always old songs that we haven't played in a while that we'll put back in. And depending on the difficulty of that song, we probably don't even have to rehearse it. We just kind of know it, and, like I said, you're responsible for it, unless it's something super hard, like Girl Gone Bad or something where you gotta kind of like sync that up. But
what would you do if you suddenly decided, let's just say that you guys decided to add a Hagar song, let's say 5150 to your repertoire?
We do that.
And so you're all studying it, doing it on your own. Would you get together and do some Skyping and maybe 1 or 2 of you get together and work it out at all? Or would you just... 5150s, that's another one that we've done in the past, and I put in the set. We hadn't done it in about 2 years, so I put it in the set. I put it back in the set like maybe 2 months ago. And
that's a tough one too.
So that's another song where it almost coincides with when I have practice scheduled. Like if I have practice scheduled in January, right? Around like maybe a week or 2 before, I'll be like, hey guys, you know what? Maybe we haven't done X hard song in a while. Let's bring it back. Let's try to run through it at practice. And they're like, oh, okay. Along with the new songs that we have to learn, And like,
now, when you guys do practice, you get together. Is it like a long practice? A few hours or just a couple hours? Or
I think that's where I was saying earlier, where if you do your homework at home, a lot of like when I was growing up, I was in bands and like, you know, it was always instilled in me that band practice is to get the song together. Band practice isn't when you learn the song. You learn
Exactly.
the song at home,
I got you.
you know.
Yeah.
So technically, you know, with my guys, man, you know, if they were here, they'd vouch for it too. Where, you know, if everybody knows their stuff, you can probably run through the song once and it'll be ready, and then you'll run it through again a second time, just to make sure everything was right, you know, and then that's it, really, you know.
So each of you, who pens the show set list?
I do the set list.
I do too.
Both of you guys do.
Yeah,
Right.
we're Van Halen fanatics.
Yeah.
You know?
VH freaks do the set list. Yeah,
exactly.
And like, you know, there's some songs that we've done. Like a good example is we did what's that song? We used to do the Full Bug. We just recently we do the Full Bug, and my singer, you know, did the full harmonica solo and all that.
Nice.
And I thought it was gonna kill.
And did that at EVH or?
No, we didn't play it there. No, but
Joe's did at EVH Con.
John did. John played it.
Oh, you did Full Bug?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I probably wasn't there.
So John, you got to do the Full Bug.
But you know, there's some songs that you think are gonna, you know, you being a Van Halen fan, you think are gonna go over great.
Yeah.
These people are gonna go sick for this tune. Like, you know, nobody plays this song. Full Bug, right? And you know, sometimes it's a little bit over people's heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so you kind of gotta make sure that you structure the set list right, and you know, you can put in some obscure stuff. You know, a lot of people come up to me after shows and are like, you know, we love that you do the deep cuts, and that's always been like one of the pillars of this band. And that if I wanted to go see a Van Halen band, sure, you know, you go see, you know, people play Panama, Jump, blah blah blah. But if you're a diehard Van Halen fan, you don't want that. You want stuff like House of Pain. You want stuff like, you know, Top Jimmy or something. You know, you want stuff like Fools. You know, and you know, with us having to play like 40 plus songs a night, there's room for that, you know?
Sure there is.
Definitely.
That's wonderful, man.
Definitely.
Nice.
So Joe, what do you think, what songs get the biggest reaction from your band, like from the crowd? I mean, you guys got to know, both of you, I'm going to ask you both this question. Which songs get the biggest reaction?
I would say for us, be Panama. Oh, yeah. Everybody loves Panama, Running with the Devil, all the classics, you know.
Yeah.
Hot for Teacher.
I'd say, you know, Hot for Teacher. I'm the one.
About love.
You know what? My guys do. It's funny when we do. Ain't Talking About Love is our last song, and what I do is my band kind of switches instruments. So my singer plays guitar. I sit that one out. My singer plays guitar. My bass player sings and plays bass, so they have a little fun with that at the end of the night. But you know, like, you know, it's if you're in a room of Van Halen freaks, then pretty much every song, you know, you get a reaction from. If it's the right crowd, pretty much every song. I've had people not believing that we're playing House of Pain or that we're doing, you know, like I said, the obscure stuff that people don't necessarily play, you know. Right. But like, you know, Hot for Teacher goes over great. You know, when the drums start, everybody knows that, you know.
Right.
And you know, one of my favorite songs to do is Feel Your Love Tonight. You know, and that we've got that like early in the set.
Oh, definitely us too.
Yeah.
That's a cool song.
What's your favorite song to play, both of you? For
yourself? Mine is I'm the One.
I was going to ask you that. That's what I was going to ask you.
I know Joe was going to say that.
I just love that song.
What about you, Jimmy?
That's cool.
Mine is, I'd have to say, Mean Street. I mean, Mean Street.
Yeah, that's awesome too. Yep.
You know, and from like the Sammy stuff, I'd have to say 5150. 5150 might be, you know, one of the greatest Van Halen songs ever.
Yeah, I agree. And you
Definitely.
know what? And it's one of the more difficult Sammy era ones to play too.
It
It might
really
be,
is.
you know,
I would agree in the Sammy era that's a true statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
definitely.
If you haven't already, open a window, click the link down below, mute the sound, check these guys out, and listen
But I'm
to
gonna say
us.
for I'm the One, it's Eddie in one song. Everything
Yeah.
that he ever put together is in that
Mhm.
song.
Yeah. So if you were to tell somebody asks you, well, what's
Yeah.
a good song, that would be the one you would just tell them, just listen to that song.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all there.
Because that shuffle is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to learn it to get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that swing that he has on there, I think that's
Yeah.
the toughest thing. He's got
It's
the
tough
really
to
is.
get that
swing, you know.
swing. Yeah.
Yeah. So so Joe, what area does your band really cover? Like where you play? Where you based out of? You're based out of Lowell, Massachusetts. Where are you based out of?
We're out of Worcester.
Worcester. Okay, so you're a little
But we
more
don't
western.
really play Worcester. We play New Hampshire, Connecticut, not Connecticut. We just got a gig in Connecticut at Mag's, Rhode Island at the Last Resort. That's a great place to play. Chicopee, Mass. We played up in New Hampshire.
Hey,
At
when
Hampton
you guys
Beach.
play a gig, I didn't mean to cut you off. What kind of crowds are you getting?
We got a pretty
You know,
good
it's all
crowd.
after COVID and everything. I'm curious, is everybody's out now, aren't they up there?
Oh yeah,
I got you. Everything's wide
everybody
open,
can't wait
right?
to get out. But it was weird. We were playing in COVID, and people had to wear masks. But when they sat down, they could take them off. They couldn't dance.
Yeah.
It was very awkward, but
Yeah, it was
that was a
interesting.
pandemic.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. That's great.
Right.
But numbers are there now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you cover a pretty big area then, Joe. If you're based out of Worcester and you're covering, you know,
We
you're
try to
going
do all of New England.
Yeah,
I've yet to hit Vermont. It's the only one I think I didn't hit yet.
not bad. And Jimmy, what about you? So where are you in, like Fairfield? Where are you based out of? What would you say is your like center of your geographic area?
Probably like around New Haven, like the valley around New Haven there.
Okay.
Halen.
We primarily play around Connecticut. We're trying to branch out, get into New York. We've got we just signed up with we're going to sign up with like a manager that's supposed to get us into other places and stuff. So
Nice.
the future looks bright.
Right.
I've been doing all the bookings myself for the band, and every year it gets better. Every year we play the best rooms in Connecticut right now.
It's fun.
And you know what, and if that was it, I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? If that was it, we kind of want to branch it out. But if that's what it is, and that's what it is, and that's we only play like once a month.
Right.
We're kind of like thinking about doing it like twice a month now because there's a little bit of a more demand around the area. But yeah, I mean, like the past 7 or 8 years, we've only really been doing it once a month, just to not overspread ourselves, because that was one of the problems with my old band Megahertz, is that we would play every weekend, twice a weekend, Fridays and Saturdays, and then people wouldn't come because
Every other week is
They're
nice.
sick of you.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
like it was no, it wasn't anything special or anything like that.
How often you guys book, Joe?
We do about two to 3 times a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
I mean, I'd like with you, Jimmy, I'd love to get a manager. I'm doing the booking now.
Yeah,
I've been doing the booking for a while.
yeah, we've got my we're gonna go talk to this guy. Showed some interest, and I met him through like one of the bigger. He books one of the bigger, one of probably the biggest club in Connecticut, and I've known him for a while, and he came up to me last week at that show that we did, and showed some interest in
That's awesome.
booking us. So I was like, any help you can give us. The thing is, like, if it's regular places, I can book that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have relationships with these people, and that's what I tell like a new room. It's like, you know, we want to have a great time. We want you guys to be happy. We want the room to make money. You know, we'll make a little bit of money too. You know what I mean? But we just want everybody, because I have this idea that like if you present a fair deal to somebody for your band, instead of going to a room and like asking for like, I don't know, $1,000, you know, $2,000, right, and playing it once because you didn't bring $2,000 worth of business, you know, maybe you book it for like $700 and you play that room 4 times instead of just once. You know what I mean?
Right.
And in the end, you're far ahead, and you've got this great relationship with this place. You know,
Relationships are important. Yes, sometimes the venue helps the act.
So I just need some help in like getting like introductions or something like that to like
different
like
rooms,
smaller theaters and things, you know, around here, Bridgeport or New Haven or something. You know,
is there a venue that both of you guys have in mind that you would love to play that you haven't been able to play yet that's on your radar?
For me, I'd love to play the casinos.
The casinos would be great. There's this theater.
It's tough to get in these places, though.
Yeah,
you don't have
it's
connections.
Not easy,
all about connections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's this great theater. I forget. It's I can't remember the town, but it's near like Groton, there, like on the coastline of Connecticut, called Trinity on Main, where my my buddy's band played. It's a beautiful theater. He's in a Led Zeppelin tribute. I used to be in the same band.
Mm-hmm.
But those guys played. It's a beautiful theater, and you know, it'll seat maybe like, you know, 200, 300 people. It's an old theater. It's beautiful. So I'm trying to work up a package to present to them.
Oh, that's great. I wish you luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, man.
Let me ask you guys this. So the other band, Van Hagar, is up in your area.
They're in Long Island. In New York.
Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
Okay.
But they play everywhere. They play up in Massachusetts too, don't they?
We're going to be playing with them December 11th in Chicopee.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So they double bill there.
Here's a crazy question. Do you guys ever pal up with other bands that like have a Hagar guy and a Roth guy that are great and just
are there any other bands in your area like
for
that?
A couple of tunes or anything like that?
Not many Hagar bands.
Yeah, there's only one, right?
Yeah, that's the only one we know, really. You know?
Mm-hmm.
When I when I started this,
I've heard them. Yeah,
I've seen them. I've actually seen them.
It's always a bit of a pain in the ass to play with another band, because, you know, sure, you can say, hey, let's play with another band, but then there's all these logistics. Whose drums are going to use? Who's do you have to bring a PA? There's all these logistics, you know. Who's going to get, like, who's responsible for getting paid? You know, how much is that other band going to get paid? You know. Whereas I didn't really want all that stuff. So, I mean, we've done gigs with like other bands, not like Van Halen related bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I really just prefer just rolling into a place. It's you. That's why, like, when I started this, like, we could have gone 2 routes. We could have gone the route where, you know, we play a set that's like an hour and a half, but then you'd have to play with somebody else every time, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, you know, and I didn't want that. So like from the very beginning, I was like, we got to have a full night, just us, where, you know, you could present that show to a club, just you know, instead of having to like, you know, some bands are easy to work. Some other bands are easy to work with. Some of them aren't, you know what I mean? So like, who needs that headache? You know, you can, that way, you know, you roll in, it's just you know what you have to bring. You know what you have to do. You know when to start. You know when to finish. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot easier and many less headaches. You know.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you know, we have played with other bands.
Yeah. So for us, I would say 50% of the time, either we're playing alone or we're playing with other bands, because the venues book our opener. It depends what venue it is. And I got a little story for you. So December 11th, when we play with Van Hagar, we're going to be using Jim's bass player, because our bass player can't make it.
There you go.
What?
No, I'm just I know.
Very cool. That is awesome.
We're friends. I mean, he's the one who got me into coming to EVH Con.
Yeah. So if you guys saw a video from EVH Con this year, Jimmy's bass player and Jimmy's drummer were there, and Joe's singer was singing there at VHCon.
Right.
So these guys are all familiar with each other here now. But here's, I don't know if Tony, if you had this photo here. This is Joe's band. They actually dress up and do the whole. See, there's a. See it?
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah. And Jimmy, your band doesn't dress up, but you guys got like cool effects. I saw that, like those. It looks like fire shooting up or something. What is that?
Yeah. We don't really. I don't know. We don't really dress up.
I love that fire thing though. That thing looks so cool.
We've got lights. There's like this. What he's referring to is this fake fire. It's really like
so cool. I love that.
It's really like vapor, but with a light underneath, and it looks like fire.
And it looks like fire shooting up. Yeah. It's
so, my singer for all that stuff.
Yeah. And do you do that during On Fire, just out of curiosity?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm up there playing, and then I don't really even notice these effects until I see a video or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the effects. Crazy.
Excellent.
And here, Jimmy was talking about a place they played called Crystal Bees. I mean, look at the crowd that they had. This was like a week or two ago. I mean, look at
that was like crowd. Last week. Yeah, last week.
That's nice, Jimmy.
That's a nice crowd. Look at that,
dude. That's a nice venue too.
It does. It looks great.
That's a sharp-looking club, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Killer. Absolutely killer.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's. Nice. I'm trying to find some other pictures here, Jimmy. I don't know what you got here on the page. Oh.
Thank God live music is back.
So, Jimmy, how many guitars do you have now?
Shout out to Keith Campbell and Keith H. See you guys in the chat. It's good to see you.
Yes. So, Jimmy, let's talk about your guitars, guys, too, as a matter of fact. So, Joe just mentioned, Jimmy, how many guitars do you have? So, Jimmy, you love the Walker body. That's the one you like. So, guys, the Walker body is, go ahead, Jimmy, explain the Walker body to everybody.
It's a boat anchor.
The Walker body. Yeah, it's the if you recall, there was a famous Kramer ad with Eddie, and he's got a Frankenstrap, but it's not the real Frankenstrap. It's got the banana headstock, and if you look, the body, it's the Kramer ad Frankie. That's what it's called, right?
Right.
And the body is a lot bigger. And I think, I don't know how true the story is, but it turned like Kramer was making this body for this guy like John Walker, and that's where, that's the one right there. So the horns are a lot bigger,
big, round.
And when I was a kid, I used to stare at that ad, on my wall for like hours, and I was like, man, where can you get a body like that? Because it's not a Strat body,
What is the body made of, and what does it weigh?
Well, that's the question here, guys, because I've never put his guitar over your shoulder.
40 pounds.
You need to have a physical therapist or a chiropractor.
Because I have heard some stories about this guitar and how much it weighs.
Yeah, I love heavy guitars. I've got about 8 of those that body style.
Wow.
They're one of them's painted just like that Frankie. The other ones are like solid colors.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all the same. It's all Northern Ash.
Okay.
And it's all got like, the next to, I get the bodies from Chris Locke. Thank you, Chris Locke. And, the necks come from Musicraft. Mm-hmm. And it's, they're all the same guitars, pretty much made to my spec. Yeah. Here you go. That's my Kramer ad. Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful.
But yeah, like this a friend of mine, I don't know if I should mention his name. Like everybody knows him as the Kid. He makes all these replicas for me, all these guitars for me, and
made 2 of mine.
Made Joe's.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And so he makes all these. And one time I ordered this red one, and it was the exact same specs as my other ones at the time, right? Except it was red. Right. And this was probably 3 guitars in, because this is when I realized what weight is, you know. And I always thought that, like, you know, you order Northern Ash and you're gonna get Northern Ash and it's gonna be heavy, right? And like I said, it was just like my other ones, except red. And when I got it, I hated it because it was light. It felt like a toy to me. I need them to be really heavy. That way, I feel like they're like a real guitar.
Yeah,
And that's that. I know that's completely, you know, against what everybody else wants. You know,
Not me. I'm old. I need it
Keith
nice
H.
and light.
yeah.
Is it? I'll ask you a crazy question. Do you notice is it a tone thing with you, or is it strictly the aesthetic of having the heavy guitar? Do you notice a tone difference from having that heavy a body?
You know what?
Did you notice a difference in the lighter version that you got? Did you notice a tone difference in that? Were you like,
Probably
not
not.
only do I not like it,
I don't know if it was. You know what? It was more like it may be. I don't know if it was the tone. I just couldn't bond with it, and maybe it was because partly of the tone, partly because it felt like a toy guitar to me because it was so light.
It was a
it had to have had a tonal difference if that mass was not there, because you're talking about a difference of 3 pounds, 2 pounds.
I think it's like a weighted blanket. It feels more comfortable with it.
And the funny funny part of the story is that I ended up selling that guitar, and the guy that bought it absolutely loves it. You know, and he sent me something.
Considers it normal, right?
Yeah. He sent me something a year later asking me like who built the guitar and how you can get another one just like it. So I passed along the information, but I'm pretty well known that I like heavy guitars. One of them, my main one, is a white one, and it's almost too heavy. That's what I tell them. It's almost.
What kind of weight are you talking again for that?
You know, when I order them, I go to Chris Locke. I tell him, Chris, this is exactly what I tell him, and this is exactly what he responds to me. I go, Chris, I need the heaviest Northern Ash that you have right now.
So you're well north of 10 pounds.
Yeah.
20.
And he's like, "You're crazy, but I'll do it."
You gotta pick that thing up. Keith says in the chat, "Hey, could you two hand me my guitar?" That's what Jimmy says to people. Could you two hand me the guitar? That's right, Keith.
That's a great one,
Keith, man.
That's a great one.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
When you grab Jimmy's guitar, it goes like this. Whoa!
Yeah, it's heavy.
Exactly.
It's heavy.
Exactly.
But I want to show you a picture of my guitars. These are my guitars.
Let's see.
I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude.
There you go.
Man.
So
that's spectacular.
Joe, how many of those did the kid make?
He made 2. He made the 5150 and the Frankenstrat.
And your 5150 is nice and relic too, man. You got some nice. It looks
I got
worn
lucky.
in and played that guitar, man.
Yeah, I played all.
I have pictures on my phone of Joe's 5150 that I show to people because people will come up to me and they'll ask me about the guitars and who builds them, and I'll show them pictures of Joe's actual guitar when it was built, and kind of tell them the story about the kid, and say, look at the work that this guy can do. It's astounding.
Yeah, it is.
Astounding.
Really is.
So you talk about.
So I just want to say one thing.
Sure.
So I have a little guitar that I bought. I think it was a LTD. Then I had Craig Stoffco. He painted it for me, and they put little guitar on it for when I play little guitars. And that's another one I have too.
Yeah, we got to get Craig on here one night and show
Craig's a master.
He
Craig's
does.
working on
really
2 guitars for me right now.
Incredible stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. But so, what's your favorite, Joe? That's your favorite, the 5150 out of all yours?
Yeah, I think that's my favorite because the Frankenstrat. Oh my God, the thing probably weighs as much as your guitar, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks great though.
Send it over, man. I'll take it. Send it over.
And Jimmy, you said the white one's your favorite, right?
The white one's my favorite. Yeah. It's funny because like when we played that show that John just showed the picture of, I was walking around talking to my friends and stuff in the crowd, and they're like, they're like, because I had, I kind of retired my Stripe one. I'd played it for 8 years, and in the past, like you'd read in these articles in like Guitar World or whatever about people retiring their guitars because And I never understood what that was. Like, why would you retire a guitar? But like now I get it, because mine, like, it's been played, and like, I don't know, like I just don't trust it live anymore with like the sometimes the volume knob, and you know, there's ways around fixing that. So anyway, I've kind of like retired my stripe one. I've got to have, I'm having one painted right now that's going to be striped up. But
is it in need of being refretted or anything? Does that have anything to do with it, or?
No, it's more like on the, you know, the other ones that I've got, like the first three are all the same. The rest are the same as the first three, but the other, you know, four have stainless steel frets, and you can kind of tell the difference, you know.
Well, sure.
And
Sounds like it's had a good
oh
life.
yeah, that's it right there. That's my main one right there. John's plan right there. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Hey, I also straightened my pontoon boat. I gotta find a picture of
Yeah,
it.
Joe, I just had a
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
Of it. I had it. Hold on a second.
Your
I'm trying to look.
pontoon boat.
I was going to ask you about that. I pulled it up here on Facebook. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I'm looking for it
I love
too.
this kind of stuff. I love this stuff.
I got it
gotta
right
see
here. Hold on a
this.
second.
I got it right here.
You got it?
Yeah. Can you see it?
Oh,
there you
that
go.
is badass.
That's cool.
Absolutely badass. Wow.
Nice.
Very cool.
You had a couple different shots of it on there that I saw.
Yeah. Let me find another one. And I got the
That's
back.
a
Let me find the
first.
back. So the back is just like the Circles guitar where it says "Bye, see you later." The guy
Oh,
painted
wow.
it exactly like that.
I want to ask you about that guitar too, Joe.
Let me find it.
But Joe, what does it say on the side? What is it? The name of the boat?
Aquatic Punk.
Aquatic Punk. That's cool.
Oh,
Isn't that awesome?
nice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
That's
Wow.
beautiful.
That's great. I like that.
Thank God I have a wife that loves me.
Yeah,
There you go.
I should do stuff like that.
There you go.
So what happened was when Eddie died, I knew I was gonna paint it. I just didn't know when. That's it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I knew I was gonna paint it, and then we decided to put our
Yeah,
pontoon.
Excellent.
That's cool.
Decided to put our pontoon on our
Nice,
lawn.
dude. Nice.
So I just had my buddy paint it for me.
Yes,
Tribute to Eddie.
Man, look at that.
EVH on there. See it on there.
Yeah.
That makes a statement right there. That's
cool.
beautiful.
You probably get a lot of attention with that thing, right? People.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Well, I can't really go on the pond without them. No, my wife know where I am. But she loves it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's excellent.
So the next
Like
thing I want to
clean
bring up to you guys is the guitar picks. So we asked you guys to. I know you got custom guitar picks made, and maybe you could just show us a sampling of all of your guitar picks here.
That would
All
be
right,
so
ready?
cool.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
got
Joe.
this one.
Back it up a little bit. Let's see if we can
Oh, sorry.
focus it. Yeah, just a little bit.
How's that?
There
Right
you
there.
go.
Yeah,
Excellent.
nice. Sweet.
Oh, that's a great pick.
Oh, shoot. Hold on.
The
Yeah.
back says,
Nice.
"I want some too."
Nice. Nice.
That's it. Now you're up, Jimmy. What do you got?
Oh yeah, with me, I end up doing like a whole batch of guitar picks, like I don't know, like maybe 3 or 4 times a year. What I use those for is like, like I'll play someplace and then I'll put like I've got like I don't know if you can see this. I've got these stickers, right, that I give people, and I walk around and and like if I see somebody having, if I'm playing and I see somebody having a great time, in the back or whatever, I'll go up to them at the break and talk to them. Hey man, thanks for being here. Here's some stickers. I got, I give them some guitar picks. So I've got guitar picks. Like this is one of the latest batches that I've had done where like, hold on. Can you see
Oh,
it?
man, that's a great pick,
We
bro.
got that. And then the back is Dave, right?
Nice.
It's got like our Facebook page there, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got ones where it's got like the 82 Lion,
Yeah.
with the WDFA, we don't fuck around.
There you
And
go.
then like the back of the lion here, you know what I mean? And again, it's got our
Nice.
Facebook
Yeah.
information. I've
Nice.
got ones where I did like a Lost Weekend graphic.
Oh,
Right.
cool.
Got
that's
that, and
great.
then
Last weekend with Halen.
it's got Eddie in the front with the Kramer. I kind of get by the copyright with having Eddie stand in front of the Kramer, so you can't really see if it's Kramer or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I've got. Then there's one of my favorites is this one where it's Laws with the like
The fair warning
inner
wall.
skirt of the fair warning. Yeah.
That's
Right.
cool.
Nice.
And the
That's
back
unique.
has Pete Angelus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I've got
Picasso brothers.
I do these like once, like maybe like once every 3 months. I'll make a new batch because I give them out, and people, it's almost like because I go out there, like I said, I go out there and talk to people, so it's almost like an icebreaker where if you give somebody something for free, it like breaks the ice. Hey man, here's some, thanks for being here. Here's some guitar picks. Here's some stickers. Follow us on Facebook, and then they'll talk to you about Van Halen or what tours they've seen, stuff like that. So so I give them away, and I'll get your information, man. I'll send you some of these.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe
me
and
too.
Jim,
Yeah.
those are sharp
My wife-
looking pics. I'd love to
No,
have.
My wife also
I
makes
honestly
necklaces.
have like
Oh, hold
30 other designs. I've got like 30 other designs.
It's right here. My wife makes necklaces for me too. When
Oh,
we
that's
sell
nice.
them at
Yeah.
shows.
Oh man,
Nice.
she's a
That's
keeper.
cool.
Oh,
Nice.
she's
She's a keeper,
awesome.
brother.
And that's in case of emergency. If you ever need a pick, Joe, there you go. You're
Yeah,
all
I
set.
know.
See? That's perfect,
All the
right?
time.
So, what do you use? Thin picks, Joe? Medium? What do you use?
Right now I'm using steel picks, but
That's right. I saw them. Right?
heavy.
You like the heavy? So does
I like
Jimmy.
the
How
heavy.
thick are the steel picks you're using, Joe?
The steel picks, they're
Have they got a
Not
good
bad.
body mass and then come to a sharp point, more or less? Or
Let me go get one. I'll be right
please
back.
do, please do.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, you like your guitars? You like your picks heavy too?
Yeah. Mine are 1.14 thickness.
Yeah.
So while he's gone, I know that he has a Circles guitar. So the Circles became the Rasta. It was, what kind of wood is that? Because it's a bigger body. Is that a heavier body also?
I don't know if that one's mahogany or not. I'm not sure.
But it's
Yeah,
a
it's
wider
It
body.
was thicker. Yeah, it was thicker. You can tell that it was thicker. Yeah.
So it's really not that thick, I would think.
Guess it doesn't need to be, right? It's
Is
not
it
gonna
stainless
bend.
steel or titanium?
It's brass.
Brass. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And I got that from a guy on the Eddie Van Halen site, Andy. I'm sure you've seen him. He plays all the time. I forgot his last name.
And you like those? You like those metal picks, then, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
The slides are incredible.
Yeah, I bet. That's the only thing I don't like about the. I love those ones with the, what do they call them? With the grip, the ones that they have Eddie's signature on them now. The Dunlop ones, but they have the little the grip on them like that.
Yeah.
I love those picks. Those are my favorite picks, I think, of all time. Those picks. But the only thing I hate about them is you cannot
Max
do
grip.
a killer pick slide with those. You ever try with those things?
Mm.
I think it's just, it doesn't get that attack like
Right.
That's the only problem I have with those things. But
Wolf uses those too. Those
yeah,
Max
I love
grips.
those picks
Yeah.
though. But
Now, did Eddie make those for Fender or something like that? I heard that.
Dunlop makes them for him.
The
I know that.
EVH would
Yeah.
have
Was
been
it-
Max
is it-
grips for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
These ones here, right?
Yeah.
This thing, where is it?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
These ones, yeah. So I mean, the grip on them is great,
Yeah.
but where is it? But those little things
Yeah.
on there,
Yeah.
these are 60s. But I can't get it to the pick slides good on. I don't know. Maybe other people.
Oh, yeah.
Can. I just can't.
Yeah.
I feel like they're too thin.
I
maybe.
like the grip though.
Yeah, I love.
Hey,
it.
So I want to send all you guys a shirt too. My wife just threw me a shirt. So this is our shirt.
That is so
That is
cool,
awesome.
Joe.
Oh, dude,
Thanks,
that is
brother.
awesome.
Awesome.
Right on.
Absolutely
back-
awesome.
I
We
want
got
some
these.
too. How cool is that?
Nice.
Sweet.
And the
Sweet.
website is on there. Hey, Joe, hold it up again for the website on there. I don't know, Tony. Do we have that down below the website?
Can you see it?
Yes.
Nice.
EverybodyWS.com. Everybody check that website out.
I think I've got the Facebook and the YouTube down below in the description.
Joe, on
Cool.
your website, do you have any? You got video clips? You got anything like that on there?
Yeah, it's from our YouTube channel, but it's our promo video
Oh,
we just
perfect.
made.
That promo is fat.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
that promo is fat.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So,
And I do all the graphics and the video stuff too.
that's killer. Killer shirts there. That's definitely cool. And
Yeah.
Jim, what's your website?
There really isn't a website, but you just if you find us on Facebook, it's Halen. Just put in @Halen CT and you'll find it.
At Halen
That's
CT,
down
yeah.
below. That link is down below. And they have videos on YouTube also.
Yeah.
And
Just
they
look up,
rock.
yeah, if you look up my name,
Yeah.
or just put in Halen or something, Halen.
Yeah,
and then,
right. Yeah,
you
it
get
comes
there.
right up.
Yeah.
Jim and Joe, they rock. Check them out. I'm sure a lot of them have clicked over and already checked them out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
When's
It's
your
been a
next,
pleasure.
Joe and Jim? When are your next gigs? What do you got, Joe?
December 11th, we're playing with Van Hagar.
Let me
And
grab
Chicopee.
another Pepsi. I'll be right
You
back.
said Chicopee, or
Chicopee and at Geraldine's.
Geraldine's. That should be a good show there.
Yeah.
And Jim, what do you got?
I've got a gig the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's at the 27th or something in Milford, Connecticut. It's a place called Anthony D's, and we kind of take December off. We kind of don't do anything in December. People, I don't know, they're Christmas shopping or
Right.
So we kind of take December and mostly January off too. We kind of take that off, and then we start back up in February.
So these will be your last gigs for the year, probably. Both
Yeah,
years,
this is gonna be my last gig for the year. Yeah.
But
Yeah, this will be our last gig. And then we got a New Year's Eve show
Oh, nice.
up in New Hampshire.
There you go. Nice. Beautiful. Well, I mean, let's see. Let me see if there's if I covered everything that I wanted to ask you. Oh, I want to ask you about your rigs real quick too. So what are you guys playing? I know, Jimmy, you're using a Kemper lately, right?
Yeah, I used to.
I know Joe has a Kemper too.
Yeah,
I do.
I used to run a Swan head for many, many years, but and I've known Scott Swan for I don't know 10, 11 years, and back in those days I helped organize like this Swan Con that all of us would go down to North Carolina, hang out with Scott at his shop. And
where's the shop in North Carolina?
Uh,
Charles might want to stop by.
Oh, what's that town?
Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh,
It's like I think it starts with an L. I can find out. I
Lexington,
Ashley.
Lumberton.
Asheville.
Lumberton, maybe.
I want to say
Lillington.
I want to say something like Laconia, but it's not Laconia.
Okay.
Anyway, so I played those for many years, and then it just got to be where you're trying to there's a lot of you got a 100-watt head, and you've got pedals on the floor, and you're kind of like doing the old tap dance or turn stuff on and off, and then I over a search for tone, I kind of came across and tried the Kemper, which I absolutely love. I've been playing that live for like 3 years now, and I've got a Swan profile in there, and like I said, I used to play like real Swans, and it sounds just like it, and I can hit a button and have the gain sound that I want, and then I hit another button and it's completely clean with a different profile. It's so easy. Sound guys love it. You just run an XLR.
Your back loves it too, right? Your back loves
Yeah, our back loves it.
And I had it.
Yeah.
I had it at EVH Con, and like all the guys seem to really like it too. There's
That's the way of
Yeah,
it.
The
I bought
Kempers
one
that
right
you're
after
both
that.
using now? You're both using the same type of rig?
Yeah.
Actually, he turned me on to it when I went to the last EVH Con before this one. He had
Right
one, and I
on.
bought one right after that.
Wow.
It's
That's great.
Dallas, North Carolina, Jim. It
That's
says-
Dallas, right?
Dallas.
Yeah.
It starts with an L, Jim. Starts with an L. Dallas.
Yeah, there's two L's in there.
So,
I know
Joe,
where Dallas is. I know
Joe, are
Dallas.
you using it still, or are you using a head again, or what are you doing?
Actually, I think I'm going to go back to my head. Sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah, you gonna mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to try it not this show, but every now and then I'll bring it out because I just love my Marshall. I just got it refurbished.
Yeah. Hey, nothing like a Marshall, but that Kemper is just. I mean, you know what the thing
It's
is with
sick,
that.
yeah.
The real good thing with that is if you're playing in a cover band and you have to do everything from REM to
Oh, yeah,
Van Halen. I mean that's no better way to go than a Kemper for that. With the touch of a switch.
I run like 4 or 5. Okay, so I've got like my main Splon sound that I'll play like 90% of the set with, and I've got another, if you want, I've got another preset for like finish what you started, which is a completely different sound. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hit a button and then there's your finish what you started. You hit another button, there's your 5150. I've got another one for Pound Cake where it's a Soldano profile and with some pitch shifting, and it's so easy, and
It is easy.
and it sounds. The great thing about it is that it sounds the same every night. You'll turn it on, and then you'll go to your presets. You're like, yeah, that's my sound. It doesn't change, right?
Isn't it weird that tube amps do that, don't they? It's like, man, it sounds like crap, man, tonight. You know what I mean? And other nights it sounds great.
Not only that, it's good for recording too, because it's direct.
Right.
Do you guys do Pound Cake in your sets?
I do.
Yes, I do too. With the drill.
Yeah,
With the drill?
Yeah, you need the Makita. You need the Makita.
Okay.
Gotta be that right drill.
Can you
I use a
still
Ryko.
Can you still find that Makita?
Yeah. Shout out to Craig Stavko for striping up my Makita. I've got another 2 for you, Craig.
Where do you find those? Where do you find them? On eBay?
You can get them for like $20 on eBay.
Yeah, but can you get batteries for them? Do they still work?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but Jimmy likes the heavy ones.
The only tough you can find the drills, you can find the batteries. The only thing that's kind of it was tough for me. Maybe it's not so tough now. Is I bought a couple of chargers and they died, but now I've got a really good charger that works.
Right.
But they're not. I forget the model number. It's like Makita 4506 or 4512 or something like that. And you can find them on eBay. I bought like recently, I don't know, like a couple months ago, I bought 2 for like $35 total. You know what I mean?
So when battery gets low, does it go flat?
People say that Ed's battery was somewhat drained when he recorded it. No, I mean, you're splitting hairs there.
I mean, there was just one particular YouTube, I can't recall of what year and when, but it did sound like the battery was low.
Now, the thing is, like, you do need to test that battery. Like, I mean, if it's low, as long as it'll do the people don't care. Diehard fans might care, but if you're in an audience with people, as long as the thing's working and you pull out a straight drill and you can do it right, they don't care. It's almost like the same with like, with a Kemper. It's like,
that's
the
awesome.
person that really cares about, that is like maybe some guy in the back, but as long as you love your sound, like the rest of the, 98% of the place doesn't care what it sounds like as long as it's good. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The most amazing thing about that solo in Pound Cake is when he uses the drill, when he's actually generating like a note with that thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's a couple of times.
Yeah.
I know when I do that, I'm grabbing it. I'm playing my thing, and then I'm grabbing the thing, going and throwing it on the ground.
Yeah, right, you better be
nice.
Close.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we want to thank you guys for jumping on here.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys, man.
Thank you.
This was a blast.
Yeah,
it was a blast.
Maybe this will turn into a new
Thank you very
segment.
much.
This will be the introductory one where we have guys from bands all over the country. Maybe they'll jump on and do this, and so you guys will be the first of this. And
thanks for being here.
First edition.
And you guys are welcome to hang out. Tony's going to do an unboxing
hang
right
out.
now.
Speaking, let's do a new segment. Speaking of a new segment,
all right,
I got to get you guys' address too.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, Joe. That is so cool. Thank you.
From John or somebody, and then
I'll rock that shirt, man.
Yeah.
All right. So each week, every Wednesday, starting tonight, we're going to do some trivia. We do trivia on my other Saturday, Show Me Your Pick. So I thought, why not over here? But we're going to make these questions up each week. And for those listening, this is not going to be something that is going to come from that Van Halen trivia book, which I don't even own. So these will be it'll be easy tonight, but they'll be harder questions, and they'll be made up each week by us. So let's show them what we're gonna give away. So what we're gonna give is a couple of these cool guitar picks
Sweet.
and a couple million Van Halen dollars, at least
Nice.
$1 million.
I could use that.
Nice.
No
Christmas
shit.
is coming.
That is so awesome. Love
Oh, I
it.
love the back. Yeah.
Love it.
$1 million.
In
Yes,
Van Halen we trust.
1 million.
Is that legal tender?
What's the exchange
In
rate?
Halenville, it is.
It is here.
Let's see, well,
Yeah. All right. So let's jump into this. So we're going to do this, and how it's going to work is the first answer that I see in the chat is the winner. Now, what you see in your chat is not always what I see in my chat, or Charles or John or Joe or Jim. So, with that said, this is just for fun. If you are our winner, there's a email address down below. It'll say merch. There's a email address. Email me your name and your number, or your name and address, and I'll mail you that prize pack out tomorrow.
very cool.
So
Yeah,
how
can I
Look,
just show-
about
guys.
Can I show you guys what my wife just got me for my birthday a couple days ago?
Sure,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you see it? Oh wait, I gotta turn it on. Oh, it's not working. That's not. There it is.
Oh,
Oh, dude.
Oh,
That is-
nice.
And I got a remote
That is so
control.
cool.
Watch this.
What? It changes colors?
Change colors.
Changes colors.
Sweet.
no way.
Cool.
That is so sweet, man.
That is
Nice.
cool.
I like that.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's it.
That is so cool.
I bet it looks cool in the dark.
Yeah,
Hey Joe, go
Definitely.
turn off all the lights and come. No,
I'll do that.
we want to see that thing.
You want to do it? I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. All right, kids. So get ready to type. We're gonna wait on him to get back.
Let me see.
He's gonna cut the lights off.
There we go. There we go.
Oh man, it's doing the full color change.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
That is
Nice.
awesome.
Nice. All right. Trivia question. Let's find it. All right. Here it is. All right. Good luck. Get ready to type. Coming at you. First answer we see is the winner wins this prize pack. So here we go. We'll be doing this each week.
Let me see if I know this.
I'm sure you will.
Who was the director of security for Van Halen from 1980 to 1984? Easy. You know
Let's
it?
see.
Or
Let's
You
see.
guys know this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right.
Who's the first one in the chat? Let's see.
All right. There's a little bit of a delay. And the answer.
Oh, there it is. Keith
Here's
Campbell.
one.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. There's
Ed
one.
is.
Ed got it.
Ed is
Oh, Ed
ahead
got
of
it.
There's one.
Keith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ed's the first one. Nice,
Ed,
Ed.
nice.
Interesting
Yeah.
the way that did that too. Congrats, Ed.
Nice
Nice,
job,
Ed.
Congrats, Ed.
Big Ed. That's what I was thinking too. Yep.
And
Mike
Keith is
Tyson.
right behind him, and Mike Tyson.
Christopher, man.
Chris.
I'll eat your head off.
Oh, that's awesome, you guys.
Right. There you
Congratulations,
go.
Ed.
Ed, a couple of cool Halenville
Yes.
picks
Ed.
and $1 million Van Halen bucks.
Ed, I'm going to try to pronounce your last name. I've been avoiding it like the plague because I didn't want to announce, say it wrong. Is it DeBrule? DeBrule? Ed DeBrule. Tell me if that's correct or not, and I'll start stating your full name.
And Ed, don't spend it all in one place, okay?
Yeah.
Ed's got some Christmas
Yeah.
money, man. I wish it was me.
There you go.
Right?
How
Mine's
lucky
floating
is
out in the sea.
Can you spend that can you use that at the EVH store? At the VH store?
Yeah, somebody else
that maybe in the future that might be in the
Yeah,
but
right.
so John
Dobril. Ed Dobril.
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 Nice.
He
Right on, Ed.
cool, Ed. You
I
rock.
think Ed was in the
Okay.
VHML too back in the
Good
day.
job, Ed.
Right, Ed?
Dobril. Okay.
Dobril.
All right. Nice.
Dobril. Interesting.
Ed, find that email address down there, and I'll mail that out. Thank you for being here, sir, and thank everybody.
I also wanted to
For
see if
watching.
anybody wants some of these guitar picks, man. Hit me up at
Holly Lewis, how you doing?
Hit me up at Halen CT, and I'll send some out to you guys. Just send me your address. I'll send them out.
Will do, man. That is
That's
so
your
cool.
Facebook page, Halen CT Facebook page, Jim. They should hit you up.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to say, John, before these questions each week, even if it takes a lot of the show to get it, that they're going to be hard Van Halen questions. So
We should probably do it earlier in the show, right? In case.
yeah. But yeah, so all right, before we got a really cool, extra cool tonight unboxing. But before we get there, let's take care of a couple of things. Okay. All right, so anybody wants guitar picks made, Legend picks, Greg Collins, his links are down below. He has made guitar picks for many, including us.
Nice.
Yes, if you want a custom build, Neil Daily Custom Designs, his links are down below. Neil could not be with us tonight, but we'll be talking about Neil shortly with this unboxing.
Yes. And
Yeah.
talk to Neil. You tell him your budget and see if you can work with you and do stuff. That's the magic of Neil's stuff too, is that you don't have to spend $3,000. You want a guitar that, he'll work with you. So talk with him.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Neil
Heavy
makes
bodies, John? Heavy bodies?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but that's the cool thing about Neil's thing, because if you say hey, I have this budget, and even though let's say the real Frankie didn't have a skunk stripe, Neil will give you a guitar that looks like the real. It may have a skunk stripe, but it's going to look like the real one, and
And you know what the most important thing about it is, guys, because me and Tony just bought Neil daily builds, tuning, intonation,
Does it make it out of redwoods?
stability, and staying in tune. Guitar that won't stay in tune is absolutely worthless.
Oh
Who
yeah.
wants to tune a guitar all night? So
What kind
Does it
of
make it
Neil
out of
does.
redwoods?
Charles, what kind of build did you get?
I got a Frankie.
Nice.
Straight
Yeah,
up, man.
me
And
too.
me and
Right in
Tony
the
have
back.
matching guitars. We were comparing them the other night, looking at them real close, side by side and everything. What a hoot, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know of
Really cool.
of Neil. He does great stuff too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Neil does.
Yeah,
and
I am so happy with my build, you guys. I'm really,
that's
really happy with it.
from a few months ago when I
Charles,
got
yours is
mine.
right in the background there, right?
Oh, nice.
That's yours right behind you, right there.
Yes,
Charles,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
Right over there. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
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 And for those of you who like the cigar box guitar,
Oh yeah.
our
yeah.
friend
Yeah.
Brendan B. Squared makes these killer custom cigar box guitars.
Yeah.
His links are down below.
Super custom.
Hit Brendan up. Yes.
That fretless one was amazing. Did you guys get to check it out at the EVH Con?
No, I
So he
saw
was
you
there,
playing
right?
one though.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah.
They're really cool, man. I
So
love that
cool.
fretless one. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that is the one middle left.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
I got one.
And Nesdal walked away from EVH Con. He had one too. He loved
Yeah.
it too. Dave,
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got me one.
Yeah.
And for those of you with tattoos, ain't the original essential tattoo care high-grade formulas with organic ingredients to hydrate and protect. They are environment and reef safe. Fight the fade. Yep. Take care of your tattoos.
Nice.
Yes.
Outro music.
All right. So,
Did you guys hear John Conklin's what's that Surf's Up Eddie song? Oh my God, have you guys heard this Surf's Up?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Freaking amazing, right?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Great song.
I didn't. Yeah.
Jimmy did the artwork for that.
I did a little bit of the artwork for that.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was Jimmy.
That's that's some genuine artwork there, Jimmy.
That link is down below
That's really
too.
killer, dude.
Surf's Up
Really is.
Eddie. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Great song.
Oh, John, you killed it on that. It's funny because I was telling John like last week I was driving home from work and my phone was like on shuffle and it just came up and I'm like listening to it. I absolutely love it, man. The rhythm is great. The solo is great. It's got just like the essence of Eddie. It's not like a copy of like Hot for Teacher. It's nothing like that. It's an original song that has the essence of Eddie, and that is so fucking difficult. Kudos, my man. I swear, I love that tune. More people need to hear that song.
You know what? It came real fast, and they all say the ones that come like real fast are usually the good ones. So that was so much fun. It was just like, man, it just boom. It was real quick.
You never remembered if you didn't write it down.
I also feel like I might have to out John because I don't know if you guys know, but John can sing.
Oh, yeah.
John sings. John
Mr.
sent me. I'm a
Sting.
huge Police fan.
Yeah.
John sent me this track. I don't know if you guys have heard it, of him singing Synchronicity 2. And I swear to God, when he sent me it, I wrote back. I'm not
Blown
even
away.
John will attest to this. I wrote back, what's this? Is this like an outtake of Synchronicity 2? He sounds just like Sting.
Stink.
I call him Stomp.
That's what I call
He's been
myself.
holding out. I have not heard it, you guys, but
You have to hear this.
it's
If
on
you're
my radar
Oh,
now.
it's sick.
you have to. He sounds just like Sting, man. It is
Yep.
scary.
Stink.
Excellent.
Scary. And I'm a
Stink.
Police fan.
My wife and kids.
Let's
tell
pull
me.
this on up, John. Let's pull this up at
Put
Do
it
you
up,
have it?
John.
I'm kidding. No, dude, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Someday, Tony. Someday.
Not gonna do it.
I got it. Here it goes now.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh, the unboxing.
let me tell you
Yes.
about this. So I collect rock memorabilia, Van Halen memorabilia. Our friend Neil, let's just say he put me on this in his area. And thank you, Neil. First of all, you are the best, dude. But these were needle in a haystack, really were, and it was such a long shot. But things came together, and Neil made it really made it happen. So I'm gonna open this, and I'm gonna show you these.
Now, Tony, you got quite a collection of these things you're going to show us too,
Yeah.
from Van Halen, which they're really cool. You guys will like this stuff. It's cool.
Oh man. All right. So. Oh wow. Oh wow. So let me let's go to so these are, let me show this one first. These are a couple of itinerary books, and this
Nice.
one
From the
is
Fair Warning
from the
Tour.
Fair Warning Tour.
It's the actual itinerary books.
Wow.
Oh, that's scary.
It's sick. Check this out. When you look at the inside of this thing.
So this
These
is,
are missing pieces to Tony's set as well.
No brown M&Ms.
Yeah,
This
right.
is-
So it tells hotels like
these are
Wow.
May
just the
21st.
calendar dates of
I'll tell you the
81.
hotel.
But this one doesn't. Sometimes these things will have handwritten notes in them from
Nice.
whoever owned it. Yeah, and I've got some, and there's references to Ed now, and
Wow.
but so this is a couple of months of the Fair Warning Tour.
Yeah. Started in Nova Scotia. Yeah.
Rhode Island too.
May
Nice.
12th.
And yeah,
That's excellent.
You see this. You see the famous Oakland shows in there.
Yeah, that's right.
so, and this is where it starts. Most of you have seen these things before, but yeah.
Is Eddie
um,
Anderson's name right there? Or is...
Yeah.
Craig Emerson, Rudy Laren, Larry Hostler, Les Martin crew.
Pete,
So that was the crew there. I guess that was before Kevin Dugan was right. Did he come later in that tour? For Michael Anthony?
I think he came later in that tour. Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah, I don't see him listed on there. So this book was okay. This had to be Tony. Was this book for the whole tour? Or was this like the first part of the tour? Do you think?
those dates only, those
Okay.
2 months.
These are 2
Yes,
months.
So Doogie probably came after that.
Yeah. All right. So, and just drivers, riggers, and you know, and it goes from, but it goes from town to town, et cetera, et cetera. But this particular book is in great shape. You see the plastic style binding, but for the book, and that is old. But so now, this one right here. Let me look in this first because this is pretty. All right, so this is just May. This is May and June of '79.
Oh wow.
My first Van Halen concert was June the 2nd,
How
1979.
cool is that? So yours is in that book, right?
Right? Wow. Look at
Whoa,
that.
dude, man.
That is sick.
So this is what the dates. This is what the dates are.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm sorry, my hands are shaking.
Nice.
But the second, that was, yeah.
Wow.
So let me go back a page.
Keith says Doogie started mid to late tour. So Keith Campbell.
So yeah, this has got the Raleigh stuff in it, and the
Nice,
Carter Stadium, 45,000 capacity.
that's where North Carolina State plays
Oh, wow, look at
football
it! Look at
at.
that playing with those Granati brothers. Remember those brothers that they played with a bunch of times? They were there. Poco, which Poco was a huge
Yeah,
band.
I
Back
Boston.
don't
then, yeah.
think
Some of
that
that lot.
the Granada brothers at, actually were there.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they were.
What a show. Poco, Van
Yeah,
Halen, Boston, the Outlaws.
yeah.
Right.
Van Halen played first.
Wow.
Feel bad for the other bands.
Yeah, exactly.
man.
Yeah, I
Gotta go
mean,
after
I
this.
went there. I actually went there to see Boston.
Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Were they the headliners?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were huge back then.
yeah.
You,
So that's that right there,
That's killer, Tony.
dudes.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
79 and 81. Yeah, dude. All right.
Excellent, Tony. Now, where does that put you on your set?
Oh, still, dude. There's missing. That takes care of all of the
Roth era?
well, all of the album stuff except for Carnal. I don't have one on that tour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anybody? Let me
That's
know.
next
Let me
week.
know.
Yeah,
Never
Yeah,
know.
but yeah,
super
no,
cool time.
there's, and I don't have any from the last tour or 12 or '07. You know, I've seen them, but no, I've just got, now I've got all of them except Carnal and the new tours. So yeah,
Wow.
but yeah,
Nice.
all
Nice
right.
collection.
All right, so where are we at?
So I got a question for
There we
everybody.
go.
What's your favorite Van Halen album?
Mine's
I'll
Van
start.
Halen 1.
Yeah.
Mine's 1984.
I'm gonna go with 1984. Also, I just think that even though I love Fair Warning very closely to 1984,
Yeah,
I just
I
think that
agree
1984
the
just a
same
good.
way.
It's my
Yeah,
second favorite.
that's
what,
a
yeah.
close,
Yeah.
close
It's
second. Is
1
Fair
and
Warning.
1A maybe, those two, and then Van Halen 1 would be
Yeah.
my third, I think, on the list there.
For me, I
I,
can't
I
choose
gotta
because
go
I just
Fair
love them
Warning.
all. Yeah, I'd say Fair Warning with his sound.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The rawness.
Very cool.
You know what? You guys seen on YouTube the Sunset Sound. They do those interviews with people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, people talking the comments, and I was talking to the comment and saying I preferred Alex's drum sound on the later albums. Obviously, the stuff done at Eddie's house. Obviously it wasn't a real professional type studio like Sunset Sound, but
Yeah.
I just listen, when you don't have to pay for studio time, you have all the time in the world to be creative. I really think that I'd rather sacrifice maybe the fidelity and the sound of a professional studio like Sunset Sound for the music that Ed wrote, because he had all the time in the world to sit in his home studio all night long every night and write the music that he wrote, because
Hmm.
Right.
what I'm saying, he didn't have his back up against the wall with a budget and things like that to try to write it real quick. So I think there's something to be said for that. But they said, well, that's your opinion. But I don't think Alex's drum sound on those early albums, I hated the drum sound on Van Halen 2. I thought it was horrible. Van Halen 1 sounded a little better. I don't think he came into his own. Everybody develops their style and their voice. I
Yeah.
could hear his snare sound on Fair Warning and spots. You could hear that signature Alex
Yeah.
sound.
Pop.
Then
Sure.
on Diver Down, it was very prominent. It's like, wow, he had his
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
It came into really sharpness there. And then of course on 1984, from then on it was there.
Yeah.
But I think that there's something to be said for the fact that Ed had his own studio there, and
I think that they knew that Alex had that snare sound and they wanted to keep that signature sound. They had to make do with the drums based on their space and all along the way. But
yeah.
um,
You know what?
yeah, that
When you think about it,
sound.
though, the only albums where I think the drums that were done at 5150 don't sound good are the album 5150, only because the Simmons drums on and
Yeah.
I'm not even complaining about the Simmons drums. I think the Simmons drums sound great on 1984. The kick drums and I think the floor toms. That's all used. Were kicks and floor toms on 1984. They used roto toms for the toms, which roto toms just sound amazing. I don't know. You guys ever mess around with them?
Oh, I love those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sound incredible on there. So
Yeah.
all he used the Simmons for on 84 was the kicks and the floor tom, and I think it just sounds phenomenal on there. It doesn't even sound that fake to me, 5150, because of the toms, all the toms were Simmons. I think that the drum sound suffered on that album. I think it sounds kind of dated right now.
Yeah.
And then OU812, because they were using the main room for the drums. They were using acoustic drums really in there for the first time on an album. And I think, even though Don Landy was a wizard behind the board, I just don't think, they don't sound horrible, but I don't think they sound a little like flat, they don't sound great. But
Yeah.
then when they in 1990, when they added the other room in there, the drum room, I think, for unlawful carnage and balance, the drums sound phenomenal. And even though Van Halen 3, they kind of went a little bit lo-fi. I don't think they had as many mics on the kit and stuff they did after that. I just think the room just sounded really good, that drum room in there. I think, the beginning of Without You, the drums just sound, killer, that beginning of it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I just think it's those two albums where I don't think the drums sound good at 5150, but I think like I said, even if it doesn't, it may have had a little bit of higher fidelity if they were at Sunset. I'd rather sacrifice that for having all this free time that Ed had to go in there and just come up with those, all those songs and all those great albums that he did in there, So it's
Let
a
me ask Jim
trade-off.
and Joe.
Hmm.
Opinions vary on this, but what is your favorite Eddie tone? What era?
I'll say fair warning for me.
I
I would
think if
say
you're a
fair
guitar
warning,
player,
diver
you
down.
say fair
Yeah.
warning.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think of it in the context of like when it came out. I mean,
Just Unchained. Oh my God.
well, put yourself in like 1981. You just
Yeah.
went to the record store. You got fair warning. You drop the needle, and then you hear. You're like,
Oh,
what
right.
the? And back then, like, you didn't know what the hell that was.
Right.
Sure,
Right.
not YouTube. I remember I heard this audio of
What the hell's he doing now?
yeah, I heard this audio of some guy in some guy just brought in his recorders, like, tape machine in 1982, like a year later. And when Ed was doing a solo and did like the Mean Street thing, that you can hear the kid going like, that's how he does it. You're like, he had no idea. And that's the thing, you had no idea what that was.
Right.
Just like you had no idea when you dropped the needle in 78 on Van Halen 1 and heard Eruption. Like, you didn't know what that was.
That's right.
And
Right.
then it kind of like it fades in, like you can hear it, and then it gets louder, and you're like, and then it goes into like the tapping part, and then the
Like, what the
feedback
hell?
right before the main. I mean, come on.
You play with
That
computers?
is the greatest guitar sound ever recorded.
Yeah, you're
I don't
right.
care if people talk about Hendrix. I'm going to get some shit for this. People talk about
No.
Jimmy Page or something. Oh, I love Jimmy Page. But, man, that is the greatest guitar sound ever recorded.
I agree with you. I think that, everybody points to Eruption because of the tapping and all that stuff. I was like, but to me, the intro to Mean Street is, I think I like it way better than Eruption, I think.
Nobody can do it right either. It's
No,
really
you're
tough to
right.
do.
Well, so what's to be said about there's a lot of cats out there that love the balanced tone.
Yeah. That was big too.
You know what I always say that I a lot of people say, it's not just me, but there's more than one Brown sound, in my opinion. You can't, because his sound changed so much on every album. Van Halen 1 sounds nothing to me like Fair Warning, and then that sounds nothing like 1984, because he ditched all the effects on 1984. There was no, on every solo, he didn't have the Phase 90 anymore. He wasn't on 1984. He wasn't used on the solos. It didn't sound like he had anything really on there. Just
every album was his own baby.
Yeah, so I just think on every album, the tone sounded completely different. A lot of people love the Van Halen 2 tone. They think that's like the most ferocious kind of Eddie tone on that. I know Dave Friedman thinks that. That's his favorite, I think. And so I think they're all different. But, I mean, if I had to single out, for me, obviously the Fair Warning sound is great. But I love the 1984 tone because it's just like Marshall. It's just, it's not as and it's, obviously he's got the harmonizer, but it was before it was really drenched in harmonizer. I love that tone, and then I love that Saldano for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and even the balance sound. I love those two. Just they're different than the other stuff, but
Ed's tone, his live tone during Fair Warning, Diver Down, and even on down to South America, awesome. But 84 and that tour, it had changed on that record and tour. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys something, right? That it popped up. I forget where I kind of like heard this, but like, what do you like when I was born in Greece, so I came here when I was like 4 years old. So, and when I was about 11 or 12, I went back. Actually, a little bit older than that, maybe like 13 or 14. I went back to Greece, and like I was on for vacation for like a month, and like my friends, people that I knew there would ask, because I had Van Halen blasting and stuff, and And like nobody knew who Van Halen was. And like, you know, looking back on it, Van Halen, they didn't really have a great, you know, European or international, you know,
Presence.
exposure, you know. And it's almost a shame that like more like, you know, more people, nobody knew who Van Halen was back then. Like, you know, they never toured. I mean, they had huge tours here in '84. Like they should have taken that tour in '84 all the way around the world, full production. And yeah, you know, they did those festivals where, you know, that it was like the end of the Dave era there. But you know, what do you guys think about that? Like, you know, what would have happened if like they were able to go out there, you know, internationally tour? You know, they did Australia like in '98, but that's, you know, that's a little too late. That's, you know.
Yeah. It was the
I
end.
agree. They could have been way bigger than they were. Think about it. They could have been.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at a band, and I think that Van Halen. I think they always pointed at this band because it annoyed them that a band like Bon Jovi was so big, and I think they point at Bon Jovi saying, "Look at all the money that they made in the '80s. We were huge, but part of it's their own fault because they did not venture too much out of the United States. They weren't, you know, for whatever reason, they did.
They were also at the end of the David Lee Roth era too.
Yeah, you know what? We had on this show the one of the girls that was in the Hot for Teacher video, and we were talking about you know, the video and stuff like that, and the video shoot, and she had some like you know, the production sheets and stuff like that from it. And it was Lori Tucker, yes, and she was great on here. And
love you, Lori.
Yeah, exactly. She was great on here. But what's crazy is to think is the Hot for Teacher video, when that video came out, they had Van Halen had already played their final show, the original Van Halen, when that video was out. You think about it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Really?
Like 4 days before they shot that video, they finished their last show in Nuremberg, Germany. I think it was 4 days before they came back to LA. They shot the video for Hot for Teacher. So they were done already as a band. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I didn't know that.
That was the biggest. I didn't either.
Yeah. We on that night I was looking at the thing and I'm like, oh my God, she's giving the notes on that. And then I looked back at while we were talking about it. I'm like, it was 4 days after their final show ever as the original Mighty Van Halen, which is crazy, you know?
Oh, wow.
I know. You kind of look, I don't know. I look at that.
I just remember that video. I was talking to my buddy Les about this the other night. And Les.
Les Paul Gibson, the man.
Les Paul Gibson. That's his real name, by the way. Les Paul Gibson. We were talking.
Another Kemper user.
There you go.
And we were talking about like, you know, the Hot for Teacher video and just that iconic kind of scene where it's the black and white, but it's like the little kid and the real guy. You know, like the little Michael Anthony and the real Michael Anthony, the little Alex Van Halen and the real and then you get to the little Eddie and the big Eddie, right? And it's just like that picture when I was a kid. I mean, in '84, I was like, in '84 I was about like 15, 16, but still, it was just like what an iconic like image. You know what I mean? Like you like, you know, like a little Eddie and a big Eddie with the split, like it's lit from. I mean, I can picture it in my head. It's lit from behind, black and white. It just looks so cool.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and forget about the whole solo thing. You know, on the table playing the guitar. You know, walking on the table. It's just what an iconic video, man.
Yeah, I wish they would like remaster those videos and, you know, and better quality and stuff like that. And, you know, listen. I wish they'd remaster OU81 too. All the Hagar albums, you put them on. I put them on the car, and you know, if I put, you know, the greatest hits or something like that on, it's loud coming out of the speaker. But you go back to OU812, it's like I have the volume cranked, and it just doesn't have
production.
It just needs to be remastered bad. All those albums do, you know. It's all. I don't know if they were just angry at Hagar and they just turned their back on it. You know, Ed, I remember one article claimed he's like, oh, it's like they're away at college, those songs. You know what I mean? He said something like in those words, oh, those, we still love them, but they're away at college, those songs.
Yeah. Well, it was like that with the Hagar era with the Dave stuff. And it was like that when Dave came back with the Hagar stuff. Like,
right.
You know, it just can't coexist. That's why like, I really dug, you know, people give Gary a hard time, but Gary, those shows, I mean, I remember I saw them, I think it's John, I think you were at that show at Madison Square Garden, like the first show. Yeah, like not the first show, but like in the early part of the tour.
Yeah.
And
It's in May.
you know, Ed comes out and you finally heard Unchained in its entirety. You heard I'm the One in its entirety. You heard
All because of Gary. All because
it
of
was
Gary.
just
Yeah.
like you hadn't heard those songs in
No.
ages.
No, I remember, you know, Alex Van Halen always hated the song "Jamie's Crying." He apparently he doesn't even like to play it. He just hates the song. He just thinks he hates it for whatever reason. But I mean, Gary even got them to play that. I know for a while he was able to talk him into playing that. So it's like, you know, Gary Sharon. A lot of people say he was a bad choice. No, he wasn't a bad choice. He was a good choice, I think, for at the time for what Ed wanted to do. You may not like it, but I like Gary. I think I like Extreme. I like it, all that stuff. But I think
He brought the old Van Halen back.
Yeah, a lot of people said that guy, what's his name, Mitch, that just did the thing with Pete
Malloy.
Mitch Malloy.
Mitch Malloy.
But if you listen to that show with Mitch Malloy, I'm like, well, listen, Mitch has got a nice voice and everything like that, whatever.
Yeah,
but
he does.
But I don't think he would have been a good. I think Gary was actually a better fit for Van Halen than Mitch Malloy. That's me. I just think, you know, Gary's voice is a little raspier and rougher than Mitch's. You know, he seems to like have a very clear kind of. I always say if like, you know, it's not a knock on the guy. It's like he can sing, but he'd be good in a band like Survivor. They're looking for a singer. That guy could like sing the hell out of Eye of the Tiger or something like that. You know what I mean? That would be more for him, I think. So I don't. Yeah,
there's some great stuff on Van Halen 3. I mean, if you go back and you listen to like a Year to the Day or From Afar or Once, I mean that's some great stuff. Definitely. Yeah, okay. You know, you got your Josephina and your.
I love Josephina.
Okay, and then you got your How Many Say I. Okay, all right. But I mean, it's not. I just feel like, you know, I was a member of VHML around that time, and
it's a great time, right?
Yeah.
What is VHML?
It was almost like there was.
Mailing list.
It was almost like there was a concerted effort to not like that album. I think people were tired of. You know, like I blame MTV too, because like MTV's got the whole "Welcome Back." You know, remember that whole video? But like Dave wasn't back. Like it was never said that Dave was back. They just ran with this video, and it kind of like poisoned the whole thing. Then you got the whole fiasco with the Video Music Awards. You know,
but we all wanted him back.
Yeah, we all wanted.
We heard that.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I mean. Like there was a bit of a. There was a bit of a concern. I think there was a bit of an effort to not like that album and not give it a chance, you know? And like, and I know like in the beginning of 98, I call that the beginning of Ed's dark period. There was a whole, you know, we were talking about the Howard Stern show before. There was a whole thing, you know, there was that whole infamous, you know, show when, you know, the whole band was there in Howard's studio and Eddie was acting a little weird. Okay. Right. And then that was called at the beginning of his dark days. But that whole tour, I mean, I saw like 3 or 4 shows on that tour. That tour was great. You know, Gary was doing some antics and stuff. And I don't know if like the jocks in the audience, you know, like that, you know, but you know, the songs were, you know, the songs are great. I mean, they did everything, you know, they did, you know, all the old Van Halen. They did, you know, the Sammy Hagar stuff. You know, it was, you know,
Main
Human
Street, One Is Love. You know what I mean?
All the stuff.
Yeah.
Gary brought it out.
and if Gary is the nicest guy, if you've ever met him, he's just the nicest guy too. He really is. He's just a quiet, unassuming, nice guy, and he'll even tell you honestly about his time with Van Halen. He doesn't in the book of Brad Tolinski and Chris Gill. They interviewed him in there, and he tells it as it is. Gary's very honest about it.
We all know what happened, but do you think it had anything to do with the what was going on in music at the time? Could it have been the same with anybody else?
No,
or even somebody they had before.
That's a great point. I think
they just a landscape at the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
that kind of ties in with this idea that I have that, you know, what Tony just said. I feel like in '86, like I feel like you could have put anybody in '86 because Ed was like king of the world there, and people were going just to see Ed. And I feel like I feel like if you switched those two guys, well, maybe not Gary, because Gary had some weird antics on stage. But if you put some other guy in, I feel like it might have been just as successful, because Ed was like, and people wanted to see Ed succeed.
In '86, maybe Gary would have done better.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I mean. Like if you switch those two, I feel like maybe Gary would have done better, and then like if Hagar comes in '98 and people don't accept it.
I agree with you to a point, but I will say, to give Sammy Hagar credit, that guy could write a great melody.
No. Yes.
I don't think Gary could write his melodies
no
as good as strong as Sammy's melodies are. That he could sing them and he could write them, and I think that was a huge part of the success of that album too. Was just that they could do anything at that point. Whatever Ed threw at him, he could squeeze out a melody. The funny story is talking about Ed smoking all the time. Sammy says, I forget which song it was. Was it 5150? It might have been 5150. Said they were working at the studio and he'd come home, and because Alex and Eddie chain smoked, he said it'd be like 12:31 in the morning. He'd have to jump in the shower because his wife would not let him get into bed because he stunk, his hair, everything, So he'd have to go in the shower. And he said, I think it was the song 5150. He said, because we were working on that, he goes, I got in the shower that night and I'm humming in the shower. And he goes, and I came up with that because of them chain smoking. I was in the shower. I came up with that melody. I got out. I wrote down words or whatever like that. I don't know if he recorded the melody they had for it, but he said that was all as a result of me having to take a shower because of the chain smoking. But he could.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
Dave
awesome.
was the same way. Dave had this magical way of like squeezing out a melody, and some of those,
Yeah.
I listen to House of Pain.
His lyrics were great.
House of Pain.
I love Dave's lyrics.
I know, me too.
Outstanding.
House of Pain. How do you come up with that melody? I mean, to squeeze anything out of that music. I'm like, if you just hear that blank music, if you never heard what he sang over that, and I said, okay, Joe, here's this music. Come up with the melody.
What the hell is that?
What the hell? How the hell are you going to sing over that? But he managed to do it. Which so all the credit to Dave on that one too. He was definitely. Everybody else complains about Dave. Oh, he's not a great singer. Hey, listen, he's a showman. He wasn't a great singer, but the guy could write a catchy lyric. I mean, even on the last album, The Different Kind of Truth, some of those lyrics, if you listen to them, I read them, I'm like, I start laughing. I go, these are really like clever lyrics if you actually listen to what he wrote. And hey, he could carry a tune. He was a showman, but
we talked about this a while back about Mitch, and we all see him out there doing his thing right now. Did Mitch not get hired because he wasn't a rock star already, or do you think?
Yeah, what was up with that?
I think Eddie just any singer that came in there, I think Eddie just instantly fell in love with you. Okay, yeah. I want you to. You're the singer, man. As long as he had a good time with the guy that day, I think without even consulting Alex or anybody else, I think Eddie was just like, yeah, you're the guy. I pretty much.
Fred Gass could have been the singer.
Because he was looking for somebody that he could write with and work with. Because he was just like, I guess after the experience with Sam at the end and stuff like that, it just.
I mean, I don't know. He wasn't a name. He wasn't a.
Yeah.
And they talked to, even when Dave left, they talked to a lot of people who really were just names, So I think that maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe
possible. It's definitely possible.
I think at some point it was going to be Gary because of like the whole management connection,
Yeah.
Ed Leflin.
Because what's his name? Not Ed, the other guy.
Greg Daniels.
Yeah, Greg. Yeah, he
Right.
managed Extreme too. And
Right, and they had split up already. Extreme had already split up at that point. So
Gary,
that's right.
Like,
yeah,
it was kind of like perfect timing, really.
Yeah.
For that whole thing. But you know what? I this earlier on, I was talking about that Sunset Sound thing. My point of that whole thing, which I didn't finish, was that when they said, "Well, that's your opinion," to me, I said, "Yeah, you're 100% right. That's my opinion." I go, I'm not and I said to them, because it was Sunset Sound that wrote that, because I was kind of criticizing them. It sounded like saying I like the drum sound better 5150. But the bottom line in this whole thing is, is like, it's like criticizing a Picasso. That's what it is, because
Mm.
every Van Halen album is just, it's a masterpiece. And
It
it's,
is.
you know, I'm not criticizing as much as I'm just talking about it, because how do you criticize a masterpiece of Picasso? It's like, you know,
He is our Mozart.
Right.
Exactly. So that's
Right.
my final.
You
that's
know,
my-
one thing I noticed, you guys, when you guys
Shut up,
talk
man.
about this, I do the same thing. The benchmark to Van Halen's music is other Van Halen music.
There you go.
It's not anything else. It's you comparing this song and you're saying, well, what are we comparing it to? Well, it's this album, this tone, this,
Something
that.
else, right.
That's a great point, Charles.
Stays right in Van Halen, guys.
Right.
When we talk about
But-
it, we don't compare Van Halen to other bands. You don't hear us say, well, Led
You
Zeppelin was
never
better.
hear that.
We really don't. We compare it, like
You
Chuck
never
said,
hear
to
it,
other Van
ever.
Halen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's always the evolution of the band.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just glad we lived to see it.
It's funny, that's where a lot of the drama comes from that we talk about. You know, it's priceless, guys. Priceless.
Yeah.
I like to say, and I think you guys might agree with this, especially, you know, like somebody like Joe or somebody or John. But like, I feel like I'd have a lot more money if I never knew of Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
I know.
You
I'd
just
have
spend it on something else, man.
You're
That's
probably
what it would
right,
be.
Charles. Yeah, you're probably right.
But Jimmy, you could take that a step farther and say, you know what? I maybe I'd have a better career, a different career, because it's just like, you know,
that's what I tell people. Like people, like I know, you know, I know like trivia, music, blah blah blah, and like my friends are like, oh man, you know a lot about that. I'm like, yeah. I imagine if I knew what I know about X, about something important, let's say like stocks, I'd be rich. But no, I know a lot about something that makes me no money.
There you go.
I'd be a lot richer if I never went to EVH Con.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Man, oh,
Two
man.
guitars, a Kemper.
I know that's what I mean. Like
it's your
all these-
fault, Jimmy.
like when I was a kid, you know, just trying to chase Ed's sound. Like back then, like, you know, there wasn't any YouTube. You didn't know what, you know, like
No.
back
Stone
when I
over
was a
friend's
kid,
house.
you could only get a Marshall or some Fender and maybe a PV. Maybe a Mesa Boogie if you were lucky, you know. Now,
And a tube screamer.
you know, and that's the other part that people don't really talk about with Ed is that, I mean, the guy created this whole industry of like amp modding and custom guitars. Like, did anybody really want a custom guitar or like a parts guitar before that? You either had, you know, Fender or Gibson, and that was it. You know, like he did that whole, he started that whole Charvel custom shop in a way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and all these guys that, you know, whether it's, you know, Scott Spillane or Friedman or, you know, you name the modder, you know, like it, like that's all because of people trying to chase that sound, you know.
Eddie was the Les
I don't think
Paul
anybody
of
else-
our generation.
Yeah, and there
Yes.
isn't like other
What he
like,
did,
like you
innovate
can't
and
really
everything.
say that about Jimi Hendrix. I don't think you can't really say that about Jimmy Page. Like nobody's really chasing. At least I'm not exposed to people that are chasing that kind of sound. But people, maybe it's because of the bubble that I'm in, because it's all Van Halen. But I mean, people chase that sound. You know, whether you're splitting hairs about the balance tone and the pitch shifting, whether it's you know 9 whatever, not what is it 9
Plus
degrees
9 cents.
nine
Plus 9
cents, yeah, whether it's 9 cents or 8 cents and the pitch shifting, you know, there's whole discussion boards and just stuff like that where I don't really see that about like Hendrix's tone and you know, like, you know, sure there's some amps that, you know, can do that, but the guy just created this whole industry of not just, you know, it wasn't just the music and the playing, it was like the gear and people trying to get that gear because it was so revolutionary, you know.
Absolutely.
And all of that will come to light more and more as the years pass, too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Just looking at technology and the music industry. Yes, and Joe said it right. We are lucky to have watched it all happen,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I dedicated my life to it.
making
Just
sense
to
of it
try to be
later.
like 'em.
Yeah.
Well, we saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasted my life to it.
Yeah. It's true.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I dedicated
Yeah.
my life to it.
Yeah, just
Excellent.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, shout out to Lenny, Lou, and Mary. Love you guys. Love you guys.
But so I mean, all the stuff we're saying here, you guys are keeping it alive by doing what you do with your bands. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
Suma, and then Jimmy with the EVH Con, stuff like that. So, that's that stuff is important, and I can see that more than ever, people are going to want in the next coming years what you guys do in your bands. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, because now it's the only way they're going to get it. You know what I mean? Really,
right?
So it's
And that's what I kind of tell people like at my shows that I talk to, and like I said, I give them pics and I give them stickers, and I'm like, look, we love Van Halen, like we want to play the music right, and none of us really drink or anything like that. I used to be in bands when I was a kid, and it was the singers be wasted. We all take it seriously. It's a professional type of thing, and but like we just want to like we want to meet other Van Halen freaks. We want to talk about Van Halen. We want them to have a good time and like the music, and you can kind of see it if you're playing something right and people react to it. I mean, it's like it's the best time. Like if you told me when I was a little, if you told me when I was a little kid in my basement, I couldn't really, I'm trying to play, guitar to whatever, and if you told me that I'd be in a Van Halen band, I never would have believed it, because it just seems so unattainable. Like the groove, the playing, it's so and like that's what you like. I was telling my friends, like, when I rehearse to try to get ready for a gig, I'll try to play through like the whole set like the week before, just to make sure I know the solos and stuff like that, because we try to play everything just like the album. And but I can sit there, I can find myself, and I try consciously not to do this. I can find myself just like trying to play a lick over and over, and next thing you know, it's like 20 minutes, and I'm just like playing that lick, and you can lose yourself in that, and then an hour goes by. Whereas, you're like, okay, I got it. I got to move on to something else, But that's the what I'm trying to say is that's like the detail that Ed deserves, in a sense. You can't just be in this band. I mean, Joel will attest to this, and any of you guys will attest to this, that you can't just be in this band that plays like Van Halen and go up there and wing it. You cannot wing it.
No.
Right.
Okay,
it's not just the guitar player; it's everything put together.
Yes,
it's the timing.
And like
people,
the
timing of the solos.
Yes, people are in the audience and like they're running that song in their head, and they're like, "Is he gonna play? Oh, he just played that lick. Okay, all right. Is he gonna? Oh, he did that lick." And that's what I want people to kind of like respond to, like, to make it sound like it is in their heads. You can't, and that's not. You can't just play any solo. Those are
right.
Iconic solo.
Iconic.
It's a great point, because a lot of bands you can get away with just going up there and winging it.
Yes.
A lot of the older type of rock songs and stuff, you can get up there and just kind of wing your way through it. But like you said, you can't with that's one band, Van Halen. You can't.
No.
There's no. There weren't a jam band. It wasn't. Like Zeppelin. They do like 10 minutes of like Dazed and Confused, where you can play whatever,
Right.
But and like the Van Halen stuff, it's like 3.5 minutes. Like the first 6 albums, I don't know if there's a song more longer than 4 minutes. You know what I mean?
There is.
And it's just like concise, bang, 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 and you gotta play it like it is on the album. There's no room for improv in there.
No, not at all. And it's hard to capture that vibe. That's what we were saying. You know what I mean? In the first place, it's like some bands you can go up and you can kind of replicate. You know what I mean? But Van Halen alone, just trying to, not only the guitar player. So let's say the guitar player gets his part down, but the drummer. If you're all not Van Halen nuts, then it's just not going to work.
The backing vocals are important. I remember when I was auditioning singers, because what happened was my singer left. I remember. He left right after this show that we had. This was 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, man, what the hell am I going to do now? Like, am I going to just go back to playing like being in a party band, playing that thing? I'm like, and then I got in touch with a friend of mine, and he kind of steered me towards my current singer, and he auditioned, and I had him come down, and there were certain songs that he had to be able to do. And one of them is Hot for Teacher, because Hot for Teacher, it's not singing. you have to put these words in this
In
allotted
between.
space. All
Yeah.
right. And you have to know where these words go. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like I brought my pencil. You can't say that in the wrong spot.
Right.
Right.
Because then you go into the
So,
verse.
so I had him come down. So he did a few songs, and but one of them was Hot for Teacher because I knew a lot of people that didn't know how to space that. They're like singers. They sing like they'd be great like in Iron Maiden or Deep Purple. That's like singing. You know what I mean? Whereas Dave was a lot of like John was talking about House of Pain. That's more singing than it is talking, but it's like you got to put these words in this space and you have to know how to say it.
He conveys an attitude when he
Yeah,
sings.
it's like an attitude. Yeah. So that was one of the things that I was looking for in a singer that could do something like that. And you get the backing vocals, which are super important. And my guys, Jeff Kamen, he plays bass, he sings backing vocals, he does keyboards. I mean, you got to hear this guy. He does like the whole, when we do Jump, he does the entire 1984, live, on his feet.
Intro, yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a whole thing. So you got to find the right people that A, you can get along with, and B, that can play and will take it somewhat seriously, in a sense, as serious as you.
I'm going to tell you a little story. So when I first started the band, it was like in May 2016, and I got all the people in place, and then we learned the first 2 albums, and then we were going to play this gig, and it was a huge gig, and everybody was expecting us to play and everything, right? So the bass player decided to call in that day.
Oh,
and
Jeez.
we were done.
Wow.
Now
He's
the
over.
next, I was so pissed, dude. But anyways, after that, looking for a bass player was the hardest thing because one, people think they can sing like Michael Anthony. You have to have that high pitch voice and you got to know pitch. You know what I mean? I do the Eddie part, and you need somebody up here that can hit those notes. And I had one guy come down here, sound like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Wow.
I often thought, like recently, I was thinking about that, saying, you know what? If I ever did a band like that, I know it's a 4-piece band, but I would get like a female singer with a microphone to do the high harmony part. You know what I mean? If you want to, hey, listen, you want to give the people that experience, it's one of the hardest things to do is to get somebody that can sing that high.
Right.
In Light Up the Sky, when Wolf took over from Michael, you've all heard that sound check. I think it's in Texas. Forgive me if I get the state wrong. He nailed it, man.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
That's
an
one
easy
of the
task.
most amazing things about Wolfgang is that he was able to pull that off. I was like,
big time.
Yep.
one of the most
Wolf can
impressive
sing.
things.
He
Yeah.
understands pitch. Yeah.
Real
And
deal,
And then when you heard his own music and you heard his voice in his own music, he doesn't sound the same as the guy singing in that when he was doing his Van Halen background vocal. It's completely different. It's like, wow, this guy's amazing, So anyway,
Wolfgang, man.
Yeah, it's tough to get all the right pieces in place.
Yeah. That's why if you're lucky and you got him, make sure you keep it going together, you two.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
You guys are doing it, and both bands, man, you guys bring it, and you have so
Trying
much
to keep
fun
Eddie alive,
too.
buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let me show these here again. Let me get over here. They are right. There's Jim.
Halen CT.
Got any upcoming?
That's a great logo, man.
Yeah, I had to kind of piece that together, and try to put because it says what did it say in the real clause? I forget what it says. I had to kind of edit it out and kind of put my own letters in there and put the ego clause back in. It was a bit of a undertaking, but yeah, it came out okay.
Excellent.
Can I tell you guys another story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my band used to be called Eruption. And like in the beginning when I played shows, I videotaped everything. Everything was on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, my YouTube page was gone, and then pretty much my band was gone. My Facebook page was gone. You know, that's all your events.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was somebody had the copyrights to Eruption, got pissed, and didn't even contact me, and just took everything down without even contacting me. And that person was a guitar player for David Lee Roth right now.
Wow.
No lie, I had nothing. I had to start over again. And that logo you seen, I made in 3 minutes.
Really?
I was so
That's a
pissed.
great logo, bro.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it definitely is.
Yeah, I tried calling him and everything. He didn't want to talk to me. So I guess I found out that he had a band called Eruption, but he wasn't playing in Eruption anymore. He didn't have the band anymore, and he was playing in a Journey tribute band touring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why did you take my stuff down? Well, I was so pissed.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's so sad. I've heard
Yeah, it
a
was.
couple of 3 people in the last few years have had that same experience.
I did too, Charles. I've heard that more than once over a name of a band. Yeah.
Isn't there a couple of bands called Eruption out there?
Yeah, there is. They
I'm
just
sure
took
there
mine
is.
down.
I'm sure there is.
I don't know if he was jealous or whatever, but whatever.
Yeah, right.
But he's an incredible guitar player. I called him on his phone. I called on his webpage and everything. He just ignored me.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it was
sucks.
sad.
Wow.
Al, yeah, Al's good.
But now we're fun.
Yeah.
Everybody wants them better.
There you go. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we want to thank you guys for both being here tonight. And
Yeah, you guys rock.
No, thanks, guys. I
This is
mean,
so
I
cool.
appreciate you guys
Yeah,
giving
thank you very
both
much,
of us
everybody.
the platform to talk about some Van Halen, promote our bands a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
this
So
is
I mean, I love
fun.
the show. I absolutely love the show. You guys are so cool.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
thank you for being here.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and we'll touch base with you guys over the next 6 months, years, and when you guys are playing, and
Yeah.
and
Keep us posted.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
Hey, it's
come
only
back.
11 more months till another EVH con, guys.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Right?
Suma and I
Time
were
flies.
just talking earlier about something with EVH Con. So
I know. Joe was talking to me earlier too. Yeah, it's just, you know what? Could blow up a little bit. It could take the next step a little bit. Get a little,
Joe's gonna need an addition.
Yeah, if it's on the Howard Stern show, then yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you guys going to do when there's 350 people standing outside the store looking in the window all at once?
Wrapped
That'll be
around the block.
overwhelming.
Maybe
That'll
we'll
be
have
so cool.
Maybe we'll have to do it at the Javits Center, like Howard thought it's going to be.
maybe at some point, maybe we'll get there at some point, man.
Wrapped
Hopefully.
around the
awesome.
block, and you look outside, and it's a pontoon boat striped.
On a trailer.
Here I come.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
But
Nice.
yeah,
Some guy a couple of years ago showed up in a stripe with I think John saw it. Showed up with
Oh
a
yeah, I
striped,
seen that too.
Dodge Viper.
Car.
yeah, I think we showed the picture, didn't we?
Oh,
Tom?
yeah.
Saw the
Charles,
picture. Saw the
Yeah.
picture.
So who was that? Do you guys know who that was?
I don't even remember who it was.
I think it was twice he showed up.
Some guy showed up.
Yeah.
Christopher
Anyway,
Live Sour says that I think She-Ruption was on stage at Rockville, Daytona. She-Ruption. I guess it was an all-girl Van
That's
Halen.
awesome.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
I like to see that.
Keith Campbell, also a female version, She-Ruption. Yeah, so I guess that's a band.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, fellas, so thanks again. And
All right, guys.
Thanks, you
Thank
guys.
we
Thanks so
appreciate
much.
it. I'd love to have you guys on
man.
again
Thanks a lot.
sometime.
Right there.
And like I said, I'll get your info and I'll send you some pics and all that.
Yeah, me too. I
You
gotta get
guys
your
All
info.
right, guys.
hang out backstage. We're gonna end this broadcast. Joe Girard, Jim Vomvas. Guys, thanks for being
All
here,
right, guys.
man.
You guys
Thank you,
rock.
everybody.
Thank you.
This has
Thanks,
been
guys.
fun. And come back.
Yes.
Oh,
Come
definitely. We'll be
I'll
back.
come back
Always
whenever you guys
welcome.
want me back. I'll
Every
just come
Wednesday
and
I'll
hang
be
out.
here.
I had the best
Anytime,
time.
dude.
I had the best
Anytime.
time.
part of the Halenville family now.
I had the best
Awesome.
time. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Excellent.
All right, kids. Have a great week. We're out of here. We'll see you next week, next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern
Cool.
time. Any last words there, Charles Green?
Hey, North, south, east, or west, guys. It doesn't matter which way you go. In the town of Halenville, every road leads straight to Van Halen. Be well and rock on, guys.